It's in one of the northern suburbs. Forget which one, but here's the deal. There's a band shell there, and they have symphony orchestra. The symphony orchestra comes and plays. And you don't have to buy an expensive ticket to get into the band shell because it's open. So what you do is you buy a cheaper ticket, like my wife and I do, and then you sit on the lawn with hundreds of other people on a wonderful summer evening listening to the best of music. A number of years ago, we were up there and brought some lunch with us and finished that and sat on the blanket that we brought and a chair that we brought and just to enjoy the beautiful outdoors and beautiful music. Next to us was a man who also brought his blanket, and he fell asleep. And proof of this was the fact that he snored very loudly. My wife and I wondered, should we actually move? Well, if we move, everybody around will see, hey, they moved because he's snoring. So we can put up with a little bit of snoring. From time to time, your mate has done that. So I said, yeah, we'll just stay here, and we did. But when Schubert was finished, and by the way, that's where you get Mendelssohn and Schubert and Strauss and all of that good music. When Schubert was finished, which was the end of the program, everybody jumped up and gave them a standing ovation. This guy woke up, looked around, saw what everybody was doing, hopped up, and clapped along with everybody else. That's the way some believers are. Spiritually speaking, sleep through life, uninvolved, unwilling to sacrifice, distantly related. And then, when Jesus comes to receive his saints, when Jesus comes to receive us, and at the marriage supper of the Lamb, and that was for emphasis, I worked on that a long time before it worked out. They're going to be one up there in the front row saying, well, here I am. I'm clapping too. But they snoozed through the war. This morning I woke up with the song in mind, I gave my life for thee, my precious blood I shed, that thou mightst ransom be and quickened from the dead. I gave my life for thee. What hast thou given for me? That's what I woke up thinking about this morning. In a few moments we're going to have communion. And we're going to say, this cup is the cup of the new covenant in my blood. And this bread represents my body, which is broken for you. Jesus is saying, this is what I've done for you. And by the way, if you've never received benefits from what he has done, you accept your sinfulness, recognize it, and come to him and trust him. And as the choir sang, my sin, not in part but the whole, has been nailed to the cross. You can have that also. But Jesus is saying to those of us who know him, I gave myself for thee. What hast thou given for me? What is your contribution to my body? In terms of time, talents, treasure, involvement. That's the question that I have burned into my heart this morning. And I want it to be burned into your heart as well.
And yes, my friend, that's the question that I want to leave you with today. God has given us the opportunity for service, and even though our part may be small, any part that we have in God's vineyard is a great privilege. Jesus, in fact, would say that even those who showed up at 5 o'clock in the vineyard, you remember the parable there in Matthew chapter 20, even those who showed up at 5 o'clock, they played a great part and were amply rewarded. In fact, rewarded above what they could have ever expected because of the generosity of God. Don't let old age keep you back. I believe that one of the great tragedies is that in some retirement centers, you find older people spending their time playing board games, going out to various things, visiting various restaurants, and that's their contribution. When in point of fact, at their age, they have wisdom, they have the ability to guide others, they could be involved in the lives of missionaries, writing letters, praying, They could also be involved in their churches and make sure that Jesus Christ is honored in all of their relationships and in their use of time. So let me end today by inviting you to give God your time, to say, Lord, I'm wasting so much time, and who of us has not wasted a lot of time? I've wasted so much time. Help me not to be constantly busy. I'm not talking about that, but to use my time wisely, to not spend time in front of the television set, which is such a waste, but rather to give ourselves to God, to ministry, and to others. And I believe this, that if you're serious about it, God will show you new ways to serve Him, even beyond your comfort zone. So let's join the party, and let's work for the glory of God.
Thank you, Dr. Lutzer. Dr. Erwin Lutzer has concluded When Beliefs Collide, the second message in his new series on Christians in Conflict. Monday, join us for Part 3 as we learn what happens when personalities collide. Running to Win comes to you from Chicago's Moody Church to help you understand God's roadmap for your race of life. Our 4-part series on Christians in Conflict can be yours on CD, cassette, or MP3. For full information, call toll-free at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Ask about Christians in Conflict when you call. Visit our website at runningtowin.org. And don't forget, Running to Win is supported by listeners like you. This is Dave McAllister. Join us Monday for our next edition of Running to Win.